Well, our next guest is Peter Phippen. Come on in, Peter.
Sure.
He's the Coastal Coordinator for Mass Bay Estuary Program.
Nice to meet you.
Good morning.
How are you?
Peter's also an Essex Selectman. So, Peter, I'm actually just going to hand that to you so you can put that right up to you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks
Sure,
for joining
no
us. We're sitting with the amazing Great Marsh in the background, and you're working on this. This is what you do.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about the marsh and then move into your work and the coastal resiliency work that you're doing?
Sure. The Great Marsh is about 25,000 acres. It stretches from really down in the Annisquam River all the way up to New Hampshire border and beyond. My region is Gloucester to the New Hampshire border, so I encompass the entire Great Marsh with my coastal work. So it's made up of marshes, creeks, and barrier beaches, essentially, and some upland islands here and there. But
So why is the Great Marsh important for coastal resiliency?
it's a natural buffer. It's a natural habitat that serves as a buffer to protect not only the built infrastructure, but also the habitats of the non-human creatures. We have quite a few projects that we're working on just in Essex alone.
Yeah, tell us about those.
Sure. One of them right now is off the back of Cranes Beach there, you can see in the background. It's a municipal vulnerability preparedness grant funding that we received, the town of Essex. We're working with the trustees of reservation, and we're looking at sediment movement along the face of the beach and the back of the beach, and also looking at where that sediment is being deposited, how the opening to the mouth of the Essex River is changing. That has an impact on this area in that when you have a northeast storm, the wider it is, the more storm surge, the bigger the waves are going to come down in and start to impact, like Sonoma Point a few years ago where it destroyed the seawall and such. That's one project. Another MVP grant is something over near Lowe's Island, which is a pilot project that we've been working on for a couple of years, and this is looking at thin layer deposition of sediment, which was a natural event that occurred back in January of 2018. We wanted to take advantage of that. We got some fun to look at it. It's a potential technique that you use to help the marsh keep up with sea level rise, the marsh platform.
So you increase the sediment on the marsh to build it up, essentially.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, as a part of the dredging project that the Essex is now in the queue for, some of that finer sediment could potentially be used to be spread out in thin layers on the marsh to help build the marsh. The sandier stuff, of course, would go as beach nourishment, on some of the outer beaches. But also at that pilot site in Lowe's Island, we're working on some funding with Mystic River Watershed Association that needed to spend some money outside of their region. They came to us looking for some projects, and we're looking at something called runneling, which is like swales that you put in the marsh, and that's to help drain the marsh, because with sea level rise happening, you're getting a lot more water up on the marsh, and it's ponding, it's not going away.
So does that destroy parts of the marsh with the salt water?
Yeah, it starts to kill it off.
Yeah.
So we want to drain it out very gently. We don't want to put in more ditching like was done for the mosquitoes 100 years ago or so. So just shallow drainage ditches to allow some of that water to drain off. And speaking of the ditches, we're also doing some work where we're filling the ditches by mowing grasses nearby, rolling them into the ditch, and allowing that grass to filter out sediments and help to build the marsh from the bottom up.
So this is a research project.
This is a pilot project.
This is a pilot project, a research project. So you'll be able to take the research and the data from that and take a look at whether or not it's working.
A viable
option for other types of marshes.
Certainly
across on the East Coast.
Certainly, it's done in other parts of the country, but not in Massachusetts yet. Another project that we've more or less completed is an eelgrass restoration. Eelgrass is a subtidal plant that helps to stabilize sediments and the channel, and that's sorry, I'm getting eaten by.
We're getting
Could you do anything about the greenheads? Is there anything in action for that?
No.
Greenhead capital of the world.
But that's in the Essex River on the outside of Sonoma Point.
Right.
We've been doing other research projects. We've been looking at marsh edge erosion. As I mentioned, you're getting a lot more waves coming into Essex Bay, so we've been monitoring the erosion of the marsh edges. Green crabs is an invasive crab. The state has funded that to allow clammers or trappers to trap those, and we've been monitoring them because nobody really knows too much about the green crab.
Yeah, the green crab issue is coming up in a bunch of different ways. As an Essex Selectman, there's a big meeting coming up on September 23rd.
Yes.
And could you just, for our viewers' sake, talk? It's about the public safety building. Could you just talk about that? So,
yes,
update us that.
This will be
quickly.
to vote on the funding of the public safety building. Prior to that meeting, we will have a pretty exact cost as to what that will be. Right now, we're in the process of developing the construction plans and all that sort of stuff, so we don't have the numbers quite yet, but they will be ready for then, and we hope that everybody can come down and to the meeting and vote on that.
So September 23rd, everybody in Essex, Essex residents go down and vote on that very important meeting. So Peter, Phippen, thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing you on 1623 again.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Peter, if people want to learn more about the estuary program, how can they do that?
They can contact me. They can Google Great Marsh Partnership.
Okay.
And get a
Great
hold of me.
Marsh Partnership.
It's all one word, yeah.
Is that .org? Or Google it?
Just Google it,
Google
and then
it,
something
okay.
will come up, and that will get to our team. We have a team of people that work on a lot of projects, and that team changes, but there's a core group, and that'll get you to the core group, and I'm the lead on that, and they can contact me.
Great.
That.
Thanks,
Gotcha.
Peter.
Thanks for your
Excellent.
time.
Thanks for coming
Appreciate
on.
it.
Take care.
I like having